We're just
now they
are
a lot of tourists coming.
recording.
Yeah, recording now.
So let's start. Yeah.
Okay. So can you recommend some popular place or recommended place in Hungary?
Which
Sure.
is
Where should we start?
well, my suggestion as a co-moderator is that we each approach it from different perspective. So let's say one of us is going to recommend the place for the people who like nature and they like hiking. Another person is going to recommend the place where the nightlife is great or that the city is quite alive and busy and there's a lot of monuments and stuff. The other person is going to recommend the place where there are lots of museums or churches to see, you know? That's so. You guys
go for nature.
Okay.
You want to go for nature?
Nature. Okay.
Alright.
Let me start.
Yeah.
Actually, I would suggest Balaton because this is one of my favorite area. I really like fishing. I really like all kinds of sports. What you can enjoy there. So I think Balaton is the best place to visit. This is my suggestion. You can find everything. You can find wine. You can find good restaurants. You can find water. You can swim there. You can go out for sailing or whatever. And if you can enjoy fishing, you can enjoy fishing as well. So I think it's a really nice place.
Let me add one more thing. As the biggest lake in the Central Europe, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably is. Yeah.
It's the lake.
And so, do you recommend which part of Balaton? Because there's quite a lot of.
If you like wines, in this case somewhere around the northern part.
Yeah.
If you like going to the beach, in this case southern part. But anyway, it's better to visit the whole go around.
All right.
Okay. Can you specify more name of village or city name, and then I'm gonna make some text here. So.
Okay, so you can put Tihany. You can put Szigliget.
Szigliget. Okay.
Siófok.
Siófok.
Balatonfüred.
Okay.
Keszthely.
Révfülöp.
Okay, so many. Okay, so many.
Yeah, you want?
I think there are like 100 towns around the lake. So I'm going to suggest a good place for, well, let's say atmosphere. Probably, yeah. And I'm going to go with Sopron because what is special? Well, there are two things which comes to mind which is special to Sopron.
Western border.
It's really close to Vienna, and it's around. It's really close to the. Well, it's almost on the border of the Austrian-Hungarian border. Border of the border, yes. So it's really close to the Austrian-Hungarian border. And there are two special things about Sopron for me. One is based on history. After the First World War, yes.
Yeah.
We had to make a treaty with Europe, let's say, or yes, we call it Trianon. That's where the agreement was made. It was really unfavorable for us. We lost 2/3 of our country, and some towns were on the border of the territories which had to be taken apart, taken away from us. And some countries had the possibility to decide which country they want to go for, which country they want to be part of. And well, you can imagine that many towns decided not for Hungary, and Sopron was one of the biggest towns which said, I want to stay part of Hungary, and this is why we call them the city of loyalty. Yeah?
Yes.
And that's one thing. The second thing is, if you go there, I think even in the structure of buildings, you can a little bit feel this German, how do you say, Schwab? It's like the old, so like the 17th, 18th century of Germany, when they were still nomad tribes, but Germany was not existing. They were called differently. I don't know it in English. So basically, it holds that tradition, which is like half German, half Hungarian. This exists at many parts of Hungary. It's very common. Basically everywhere in small towns. They also have, like a brother school. For example, my hometown also had a German brother town, and things like so. There's a connection, and I think Sopron gives this experience back the best. And if you go there, you can just feel from the buildings, from the art, from the I don't know. If you're on the streets, you can just feel that kind of atmosphere. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but it's definitely something worth checking. And the city is beautiful, the beers are good, and there are a lot of marketplaces and open areas, like big squares in front of like really nice buildings from the 17th, 18th century or even older. And it's just had a good atmosphere. You would definitely have to try.
I was thinking that Sopron is one of the famous city of beer in terms of beer.
Yeah,
it is.
Well.
Yeah.
We have a beer named after the town.
My turn. I'm going to suggest something entirely different from the previous ones. So Nico said that Sopron is giving back both in architecture and others the German atmosphere. And what I'm going to suggest is on the southern part of Hungary, and it's entirely Mediterranean. Very similar to the Italian style, both in architecture and in the structure of the city. It's called Pécs. Pécs.
In the southern part.
Yes, it's in the southern part. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Pécs just has everything that you could look for. So Pécs was one of the biggest cities under the Turkish invasion, right? So the biggest mosques, the Islamic churches, the biggest in Hungary is in Pécs, right in the middle of it, on the main square. And there's also the Saint Stephen's Cathedral, which is just huge. It's
beautiful.
It's really beautiful.
It's Renaissance.
So everything the city has to offer in terms of like nightlife and hiking and lots of different activities, museums also, there are plenty of museums. Pécs has all of it. I may be a little biased because for some reason all the big Hungarian cities that I've been to, Pécs is my favorite for some reason, but the city itself really is Renaissance, as he said, Renaissance and Mediterranean in every inch of it. Even if you go to the outskirts of the city, the outer parts of the city, it still gives that vibe. Especially if you go in the summer when it's hot and people are more likely to be outside in the streets, especially in the night. There's lots of fun to be had there. So that's what I recommend.
Also, Pécs was chosen the most beautiful city in Europe in 2015 or 2017.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
I'm not sure which, but recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the text that this is the most famous city
right here.
Right here.